Meanwhile, many U.S. officials are raising security concerns about the social media app TikTok, owned by a Chinese company, which reportedly is gathering Americans' personal data.
And South Dakota Governor Kristi Noem is ordering all state employees and contractors to stop using TikTok on their government-issued devices due to security fears. Also saying you can't even download it. Governor Kristi Noem joining us now. Governor, welcome. Thanks for coming on. Why is this a priority for you and your administration?
Now, for national security reasons, this week I issued an executive order that would ban the downloading of the TikTok app or even accessing it from any state-owned device, network, or server. Right now, it is completely blocked on all of our systems, and it's because of how the Chinese Communist Party uses that app to gather data on American citizens. And they're our enemy. They hate us, and they're going to use this information to try to destroy the United States of America. That's why it's incredibly important that I take action to protect the people of South Dakota from this dangerous app that is being manipulated, and the algorithms are being manipulated to be used against them.
I know that governors meet a few times a year, once a year at least, in a conference. Is this something talked about that you hope that maybe would catch on in other states from other governors?
You know, I would hope so. I'm encouraging other governors to take this type of action. We have the authority as governors to decide what happens on our state networks and with our employees and those who do business with our state. I think it's incredibly important not only to take the action, but to also talk to each other and build momentum to completely ask citizens of this country to recognize the real threat that we face from the Chinese government through this application of TikTok, and that they do so as well. So we have a lot of discussions as governors. I'm hopeful that more of them will make this action a possibility in their state. But listen, what we really need to have happen is Congress needs to take action. They can pass a bill to make sure that we're protected from this and the gathering of data and information that the Chinese are now today perpetuating on the U.S. citizens.
And when you think about the people who use TikTok, it's a younger generation, right? They're on their phones, they're scrolling through, they're posting these fun videos with their friends. How much of a threat is this to users who might have no idea about what's happening overseas and the collection of their data?
Yeah, we're learning more and more every day about how they are using this app to gather information. And it's not just what websites people search or what they look at, what kind of videos they watch. They also can gather what buttons you push, what your passwords are to get into your financial institutions, to gather personal information about your health care, your family, what your trends are, what influences you. And that all will be utilized by the Chinese government to manipulate us. So talking about this is important. I believe taking action is even more important. That's what we've done here in South Dakota. And we've known for years, decades, generations, hundreds of years, that the Chinese government has an agenda to be a world dominating power and to destroy the United States of America. That's why it's important that we recognize not only do they manipulate their currency, steal our IP, build up their military, buy up our companies and our food processing facilities to control our food supply, they're also gathering information on us each and every day. And we need to do all we can to make sure that America stays great, safe and secure, and that we're the #1 priority. Our citizens and our people are who should be making the decisions for our future, not the Chinese government.
I want to talk to you about that. You mentioned Congress earlier. You can also mention the presidency if you like, and all depending on what happens too in 2024. Earlier, in fact, yesterday, former Vice President Mike Pence was on Greta Van Susten's show at 6 p.m. and he talked a little bit about a possibility, hinting at a possibility of him running, how important it is to gain the presidency. We already know that former President Donald Trump has thrown his hat in the ring. Many want Governor of Florida, Ron DeSantis, to run. I'm sure you've been watching this. Have you any thoughts about possibly throwing your name in the ring, or maybe possibly running on a VP ticket, joining with one of the candidates in 2024? You clearly have aspirations of not just only protecting your state, but the entire country and nation as well.
Listen, ever since I was a little girl, I was raised by a mom and a dad that told me I could be anything I wanted to be. And you know what? That's what's special about this country. They told me to love this country. And my job as governor is to protect my people. That's what I do every single day, and I love South Dakota with all my heart. I think it's important right now that Republicans, conservatives, look at leaders they're lifting up and say, are they talking? Are they doing press conferences, or are they actually taking action? Look at what they've done, because frankly, Republicans across this country underperformed in the last election cycle. There's a lot of things that people said that Republicans in leadership talked about, but did they do something? And don't let them rewrite history. I think that it's important we unite as conservatives so that we can save this country. And we need to spend less time blowing each other up, more time really evaluating who's strong enough to lead through a crisis, because this country is in crisis, and it's in crisis because of a lack of leadership in the White House. I described President Biden this week as a freaking disaster, because that's exactly what he is. It is scary how bad he is at his job. We need a Republican, a conservative in the White House, but we need one that doesn't just talk and call press conferences. We need one that actually takes action and protects their people.
So who would that be?
Oh, you tell me. I will tell you that this is a long ways from the next presidential election, and a lot of things can change if you look at history. The next president is not picked 2 years out, so I'm looking for the right leader to lead us at the right time.
2 years, a long way away from now, I know, at this point. If we're focusing in on the top issues, though, once Republicans do take control of the House, right, that was a victory during the 2022 midterms. Where would you like to see the focus really start with a GOP majority?
Well, it's not just the House. That's what, I had mentioned this to Kevin McCarthy before. I think it's important that they have a messaging team of conservatives that goes out and takes action. Wouldn't it be wonderful if we had a couple of senators, a couple of leadership members in the House now as Republicans, a couple of governors that really unified on a vision for this country, that really brought all of us together and strategized together on how to push forward conservative principles that actually work? I point to my state all the time. All we did here in South Dakota is what conservatives believe. We did it and it worked. We lead the country in our economy. Incomes are going up here faster than anywhere else. Our kids are leading the nation in the classroom in educational outcomes. Businesses are doing better here, and we're growing at 10 times the national average. We don't have to say what we believe might work. We can point to South Dakota and say it does work, so let's unify behind that and not just kick Joe Biden in the head every day. Let's tell the people what we really do believe and what we stand for and the fact that it works.
That is South Dakota Governor Kristi Noem joining us live here on National Report. Governor, always good to see you. Thank you so much for taking the time for the viewers. We appreciate that.
Thank you.
Yeah.